எஸ், குட் ஈவினிங் மை டியர் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ். இன்றைக்கி நம்ம டேலியில் பார்க்க போகிறது 2 டாபிக். ஒன்று ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங், இன்னொன்று இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் டு டேலி. ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங்கில் என்ன இருக்குது அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா, ஃபண்டமெண்டல் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங்கில் இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் டு அக்கௌண்டிங், மீனிங் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங், டெர்மினாலஜி யூஸ்ட் இன் த அக்கௌண்டிங், கான்செப்ட் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங், டபுள் என்ட்ரி சிஸ்டம், கோல்டன் ரூல், ரெக்கார்டிங் ஆஃப் பிஸ்னஸ் டிரான்சாக்ஷன், இந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருக்குது. இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் ஆக்சுவலாக பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, அக்கௌண்டிங் அப்படிங்கிறது பார்த்தீங்க அப்படின்னா பொதுவாக 3 வகையான பீப்புள் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஒன்று பார்த்தீங்கன்னா மேனுஃபேக்சரர் கம் ட்ரேடர், பொருளை உற்பத்தி பண்ணி விற்கிறவங்க, மேனுஃபேக்சரர் அண்டு ட்ரேடர். ரெண்டாவது வெறும் ட்ரேடர். ட்ரேடர்னா அந்த மாதிரி உற்பத்தி பண்ணி விற்கிறான்ல, அவன்கிட்ட வாங்கி விற்கிற ட்ரேடர்ஸ். மூணாவது சர்வீஸ் பீப்புள். சர்வீஸ் பீப்புள் அப்படின்னா டைம் இஸ் கன்வெர்டட் இன்டு மணி, ஃபுல் அண்ட் ஃபுல் சர்வீஸ் பண்ணுறவங்க, டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டு அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்க, ரைட்டா? ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி இருக்கிறவங்களாம் இதில் வந்துடுவாங்க. சர்வீஸ் பீப்புள் இவங்களுக்காக அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் மெயின்டைன் பண்ணுறோம். இதோட மாத்திரம் இல்லாமல் உங்களுக்கு நான் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன். பொதுவாக ஆர்கனைசேஷனை ரெண்டாக பிரிக்கலாம். ஒன்று ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன், இன்னொன்று நான் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன். ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷனுங்கிறது ப்ராஃபிட் ஏர்ன் பண்ணணும் அப்படிங்கிற நோக்கத்தில் ஆரம்பிக்கப்பட்ட நிறுவனங்கள். நான் ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் அப்படிங்கிறது இவங்களுடைய நோக்கம் ப்ராஃபிட் ஏர்ன் பண்ணுங்கிறது கிடையாது, பட் அவங்க ப்ராஃபிட்டு வரலாம் மேபி. அவங்க இது ரெண்டுக்கும் என்ன வித்தியாசம் அப்படின்னா, ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் அப் டு ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் ஆஃப் ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸு ரெண்டும் ஒன்று தான். ஆஃப்டர் ப்ரிப்பரேஷன் ஆஃப் ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸு, ப்ராஃபிட் ஆர்கனைசேஷன் வில் ப்ரிப்பேர் த ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் அண்ட் த பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட், whereas non-profit organization will prepare the income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Instead of profit and loss account, non-profit organization is preparing the income and expense statement. Profit organization is preparing the cash flow statement, whereas non-profit organization is preparing the receipt and payment account. That is the major difference between the profit organization and non-profit organization. In profit organization, there is a capital portion. In the capital, under the capital portion, how much capital is contributed by each partner will be, or the proprietor or by shareholder will be listed in the under the share capital. Whereas in non-profit organization, under the capital side, the subscriber capital will be there. The liability of the proprietor and partnership are either limited or unlimited in case of profit organization, whereas in the under the non-profit organization, generally the liability of the proprietor, the shareholder member, are very limited only. That is the major difference between the profit organization and non-profit organization. Next one, method of accounting. Already I told how to account. Already I told. First of all, we have to start from the day book. யாராவது எப்படி நீங்கள் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் பண்ணுவீங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்டால், யூ ஹாவ் டு சே திஸ் மெத்தட். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல், ஐ ஷால் ப்ரிப்பேர் த டே புக். ஃப்ரம் டே புக் ஐ ஷால் போஸ்ட் இன் டு த லெட்ஜர். ஆஃப்டர் போஸ்டிங் த லெட்ஜர் ஐ ஷால் க்ளோஸ் த ஆல் அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ். ஆஃப்டர் க்ளோசிங் த அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் ஐ ஷால் ப்ரிப்பேர் த ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ். Trial balance, from trial balance, the ledger to be transferred to the profit and loss account should go for profit and loss account. The ledger to be transferred to the balance sheet should go for balance sheet. After preparation of trial balance, at the end of the period, you will come to know how much profit you earned or how much loss you suffered. That profit or loss to be transferred to the balance sheet. Now the balance sheet will get tallied. That is the method of accounting. ஸோ மெத்தட் ஆஃப் அக்கௌண்டிங் அப்படின்னு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, ஃபஸ்ட்டு டே புக்கு, டே புக்லேருந்து லெட்ஜர் போஸ்ட்டு, லெட்ஜர் போஸ்ட்லேருந்து அக்கௌண்ட்டை க்ளோஸ் பண்ணுறது. ஆஃப்டர் க்ளோசிங் ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ் ஷால் ப்ரிப்பேர். ஃப்ரம் ட்ரையல் பேலன்ஸ் பிஎன்எல் போக வேண்டிய லெட்ஜர் பிஎன்எல், பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் போக வேண்டிய லெட்ஜர் பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட். From P&L, the net profit or net loss to be transferred to the balance sheet. That is the meaning of accounting and method. What are the terminology used in the accounting? First terminology is capital. Capital means amount of money or money's worth introduced in the business. Transaction. In general, transactions are mainly two type. One is called cash transaction, another one is called credit transaction. Cash transaction means cash include bank. Suppose if any amount I received by way of check, whether it is a cash transaction or much transactions are அப்படின்னு கேட்கக்கூடாது. It is cash transaction also. So cash transaction include என்ன cash transaction is include the bank transaction. Next, credit transaction. Credit transaction is amount now the service is received or paid, but the amount is received or paid later. That is called credit transaction. Asset. Asset means an item of economic value owned by an individual. An asset, an economic item owned by individual. அடுத்தது liability. Within 1 year குள்ள நீ கொடுக்க வேண்டியதெல்லாம் liability. Drawings means the amount withdrawn by the proprietor from the business. Actually, as a business proprietor, sometimes he will invest, sometimes he will withdraw the money. Whenever he need money, he withdrawn from the business. Whenever he owns some higher money, and if business required, he will invest into the business. Bad debts. Bad debts means the amount which I couldn't able to recover from the credit sale. அதுலேருந்து வந்தது bad sale. Purchases. In general, purchases means there are three kind of purchases. In general, there are three kind of purchases. One is called purchases for trading purposes. Trading purposes means வாங்கணும் விற்கணும், வாங்கணும் விற்கணும். So there are three kind of purchases. First purchase is for trading purchases. Trading purchases means the object is to resell the product you purchased. That is called trading purchases. That purchases will come in the trading profit and loss account. Some purchases may be in the form of stationaries, in the form of service, in the form of some goods like stationaries, consumable. These purchases will come under the head under the head profit and loss account. Under the profit and loss account it will come. Some kind of purchases are called fixed asset purchase. Actually, fixed asset purchase will give the benefit over a period of some years, not in 1 year. The criteria for fixed asset is there are three criteria. First criteria, it should not be a trading asset. When an asset to be a fixed asset means that asset should not be a trading asset. வாங்கி விற்கணுங்கிற நோக்கத்தில் இருக்கக்கூடாது. The first criteria. Second thing, the lifetime to be greater than 1 year. Third thing, the asset should be put to use in the business. If you satisfied the three conditions, the above three conditions, then it is called fixed assets. In the purchase account, which is purchased meant for resale, you need to maintain the inventory. The ledger name is purchase account itself. Suppose if you are purchasing the stationery or service, the ledger name itself, stationery means printing and stationery. If it is an electricity charges, write as electricity charges. If it is an consumable, like as consumables. Like that you have to draw the ledger name. But in case of fixed asset, the asset name is the ledger name. In the asset name is the ledger name. Okay. So there are three kind of purchases. Purchase return. Once you purchase and it is not useful for us, you think that. In that situation, what you will do? You will return the goods from whom you purchased. அந்த மாதிரி நேரத்தில் என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? நீங்கள் ரிட்டர்ன் பண்ணுவீங்க. That is called purchase return. Similarly, sales return. Sales and sales return. Sales, there are two kind of sale. One is for resale or fixed asset sale. Fixed asset sale will not come in the profit and loss account. Only the profit portion only will come. Profit or loss portion only will come. In the ordinary course of business, if you made any sales from your purchases, that is called sales. And if you return anything, if you get returned anything what you sold, that is called sales return. And creditor and debtor. What is called creditor and what is called debtor? The person, first creditor. Creditor means the person who is supplying the material immediately to you. The person who supplying the material immediately with you and receive his payment later is called creditor. Similarly, debtor means the person who received the benefit from you and making his payment later is called debtor. So you have to know who is called a creditor and who is called a debtor. The person who provided the benefit immediately to me and receive his payment later is called the creditor. The person who received the benefit immediately from me and making the payment for the benefit later is called debtor. So you have to know what is called debtor and what is called creditor, why they are calling as creditor and debtor. You need to explain. Then stock. Stock include raw material, work in progress, finished goods, everything stock only. Normally, it is held for sale or resale in the business. Is called stock. It include working raw material, everything is included. Revenue. The earnings of the business through its operations is called revenue. Suppose if a company is a hospital company, the patient income generated by way of patients, whether maybe an inpatient or outpatient, that is called revenue. Concept of accounting. There are lot of concept. Concept damo. First concept, business entity concept. What is called a business entity concept? Business entity concept means I am separated from my business. நான் வேற என் பிஸ்னஸ் வேற ஒன்றும் இல்லை. இந்த கடை வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா my wife is running, but in the evening time I am using this shop. Actually, if I thought I don't need to pay any amount my wife. But what happened is actually every month I am paying rupees 2000 as rent, rupees 800 as EB charges. Nearly 3000 rupees I am paying for this shop. Because I am thinking that I am is separated from this business. This business premises is belongs to my wife. My wife is entirely differ from this business. Okay va? So that I am paying the amount. அது மாதிரி நம்முடைய நீ ஒரு மளிகை கடை வச்சுருந்தா கூட, நீ ஒரு மளிகை கடை வச்சுருக்க அப்படின்னா நீ பாட்டுக்கு அந்த கடையில் இருக்கிற பொருளாக எடுத்து திங்க முடியாது. சப்போஸ் எடுத்து திங்கன்னா காசு போட்டு தின்னு. ஓகேவா? காசு போட்டு எடுத்துக்கணும். சோல் ப்ரொப்ரைட்டர்ஷிப் பிஸ்னஸில் ப்ரொப்ரைட்டரும் பிஸ்னஸும் வேறு, பார்ட்னர்ஷிப்பில் பார்ட்னரும் பிஸ்னஸும் வேறு. அடுத்தது கோயிங் கன்சர்ன் கான்செப்ட். கோயிங் கன்சர்ன் கான்செப்ட் அப்படின்னா என்ன அப்படின்னா, ஒரு படம் இருக்குது, என்னத்த கண்ணையா, அவன் எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் என்னத்த போய் என்னத்த வந்து அப்படின்னு சலிச்சுப்பான். கோயிங் கன்சர்ன் கான்செப்ட்னா, இப்போ ஒரு கம்பெனி இருக்குது அப்படின்னா அந்த கம்பெனி லாங் ரன்ஸ் வரும் அப்படிங்கிற அசம்ஷனில் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். அஷ்யூம் தட் நான் வந்து 16வது பேட்சில் வந்து டேலியில் ஜாயின் பண்ணேன். அந்த 16வது பேட்ச் ஜாயின் பண்ணும்போது நான் நினச்சேன் 100வது பேட்ச் வரைக்கும் நான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்ட்டு. ஆனால் இப்போ எத்தனாவது பேட்ச்சு? 108 போய் 112. இப்போ நான் நினைக்கிறேன் 200வது பேட்ச் வரைக்கும் நான் இருக்கணும் அப்படின்ட்டு. பை காட் கிரேஸ், உங்களுடைய சப்போர்ட். எதுக்கு சொல்ல வரேன்? அதுதான் அந்த விஷுவலைசேஷன். அதை விட்டுட்டு ஐயோயோ இந்த கோர்ஸ் நம்ம ஜாயின் பண்ணியிருக்கோம், இதை எப்போ இழுத்து மூடுவானோ இப்படி நினச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன்னு வச்சுக்கேன், கஷ்டம். டோன்ட் யூஸ் நெகட்டிவ், ஆல்வேஸ் திங்க் பாசிட்டிவ். புக்கில் கூட அப்படி தான் இருக்கு பாரு. கோயிங் கன்சர்னாக திங்க் பண்ணணும். ஓகேவா? யூ ஹேவ் டு ஸ்டார்ட் அஸ் கோயிங் கன்சர்ன். நெக்ஸ்ட், மணி மெஷர்மெண்ட் கான்செப்ட். வாட் எவர் த திங், it should be expressed in terms of money. பேலன்ஸ் ஷீட் ஆகட்டும், ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் லாஸ் அக்கௌண்ட் ஆகட்டும், ருப்பீஸில் தான் இருக்கும் எல்லாமே. மணி மெஷர்மெண்ட் கான்செப்ட். தேர் இஸ் நோ குவான்டிடேட்டிவ் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன், ஒன்லி குவாலிட்டி அமௌண்ட் இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் தான். நெக்ஸ்ட், காஸ்ட் கான்செப்ட். விவேகானந்தா காலேஜில் கிளாஸ் எடுத்துகிட்டு இருந்தேன். ஒரு காஃபி சாப்பிடலாமேன்னு சொல்லிட்டு நான் விவேகானந்தா காலேஜ் எழுத்தாப்புல போனேன். அங்கே வந்து டைம் டு காஃபி அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஹோட்டல் ரெஸ்டாரண்ட் இருக்குது, சின்ன கடை. அங்கே காஃபி சாப்பிட போகிற முன்னாடி ஏசி இருக்குது, ஏசி ரிப்பேர் பண்ணுற கடை. அதுக்கு பக்கத்தில் ஒரு 2 வீலர் கடை. அந்த டூ வீலர் கடையில் ஒரு பஜாஜ் சட்டக் வண்டி நின்றுச்சு. என்ன வண்டி? பஜாஜ் சட்டக். இந்த வண்டியை பார்த்தேன், பஜாஜ் சட்டக் ஸ்கூட்டர். இந்த வண்டி இல்லை, இந்த வண்டி தான். இந்த வண்டியை பார்த்தேன், பஜாஜ் சட்டக். இந்த வண்டியை பார்த்தோன்னே எனக்கு ரொம்ப ஆசை. உடனே போய் கேட்டேன், இந்த வண்டி என்ன விலைக்கு தருவீங்க? இந்த வண்டி எவ்வளோ தெரியுங்களா? ஆக்சுவலாக வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, when I come to Madras, I purchased this vehicle for 2,500 rupees and I resold it for 2,000 rupees. Nowadays, this vehicle cost is 1 lakh rupee. 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய். Will you believe it? நம்புவீங்களா? யமஹா இந்த மாதிரி ஓல்டு டைப் வெஹிக்கிள் இருக்கு இல்லையா, இந்த வண்டியில் ஏறி உட்காந்து அப்படி குதிரையில் போகிற மாதிரி இருக்கும், ஜாலியாக இருக்கும். I asked how much it price. Sir, 1 lakh rupees. Oh, 1 lakh. He never before that company also not sold that price. Yamaha company இருக்கு, you know well Yamaha. Yamaha RX100. What was the price of RX100? Actually, he stopped the production before 15 years itself. Nowadays, the Yamaha production, Yamaha cost is 1,50,000. But the real cost of Yamaha at the time of selling is just 30 to 40,000 only. Really, I remember. Nowadays, the Yamaha cost is 1,50,000. Assume that you are 5 Yamaha bike in your books of accounts. And the value of the books of accounts shows only 10,000. Books of accounts la Yamaha irukku 5 bug. Depreciation போட்டே இருக்கு, கடைசியில் அந்த 5 பைக்கோட வேல்யூ 10,000 இருக்குன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. Sir, the original cost is 5 lakh or 10,000. Which value I have to mention? You have to mention the book value only. You have to mention it as a cost value. You should not enter in the market value unless the market value is less than the cost price. Cost price or market value, whichever is less, you have to mention that value only. You should not enter premium value. Okay, va? Clear? Next, dual aspect concept. Each and every type of transaction, every time having a credit, equivalent credit. Accounting period concept. Accounting period concept அப்படின்னா, your income should match with that relevant period. Your income should match with relevant period. Suppose if your income is related to 23-24 and now you are accounting 24-25, it's not relevant at all. Your profitability will affect. So that whatever may be, it may be an income or it may be your expense, you have to record with the relevant accounting year only. Okay, relevant account only you have to account. Then revenue realization concept. Revenue realization concept means when a revenue to be recognized as realized. When a revenue to be recognized as realized, எப்போ வந்து ஒரு ரெவென்யூவாக வந்திருக்கு, எப்போ கன்சிடர் பண்ணணும். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், அஷ்யூம் தட் நீ ஒரு சர்வீஸ் பண்ணுறேன்னு ஒத்துன்ருக்க. அந்த சர்வீஸ்க்கு யூ ரிசீவ்டு சம் அமௌண்ட் as advance. Once you received an advance, you should not assume that that amount is an income. Suppose if you couldn't able to complete that job, you need to return back that amount. ஓகேவா? இப்போ ஒரு பேட்ரி கம்பெனியில் அப்படி தான். I accepted one offer. Actually, I asked her 10,000. Immediately, she sent 5,000 rupees. But really, I couldn't do the job. What I have to do? I spend the money also. I considered that amount is my income. But actually, I couldn't do the job. So that I am in the position of repaying the amount. Okay, va? So this is called a revenue is when to be considered as a revenue. Suppose if it is a contract, once the work is completed and you received the completion certificate, then only that amount should be considered as revenue. Like that, each and every nature of income, there is a certain provisions are there when you should be considered. Matching concept. Your income should match with the expenditure. Verifiable and object evidable concept. Actually, the accountant should work with based on evidence. Without evidence, you should not record any transaction. There are 8 kind of accounting transaction and 8 kind of inventory transaction. Whether it may be an accounting transaction, inventory transaction, or payroll transaction. Suppose if you are entering the accounting transaction, you are entering the purchase. Without a purchase invoice, physical hard copy you should not enter. Suppose if you are delivering goods, you need to generate the sales invoice. Unless you don't have any physical record, you should not generate. You need some evidence. Receipt, by way of cash you received, it should be tallied. By way of check you received, you need an instrument in your hand. Then only you have to pass. That check should be presented into the bank. So, whatever the kind of transaction, it may be purchase, purchase return, sales, sales return, receipt, payment, contract, JV, or it may be an inventory transaction like branch transfer, material requisition note you issued, or bill of material, job card transfer, whatever the transaction it may be. Suppose in case of payroll, if you going to register the attendance, you have to physically verify the attendance and you have to enter. Then only based on the attendance you have to calculate your salary, everything. So as an accountant you have to work based on the evidence only. The double entry system of accounting. Accounting there is a usual debit and credit. Financial statement, generally there are two kind of financial statement. One is called balance sheet and another is called profit and loss account. Balance sheet is classified into asset, liability and capital. Whereas profit and loss account classified into expenditure and income. Each and every type of transaction, there are two aspects. We should not forget. Golden rules of accounting. There are three kind of accounts: personal account, real account, nominal account. Personal account means debit the receiver and credit the giver. Real account means debit what comes in, credit what goes out. Whereas nominal account, debit the expenditure and loss, credit the income and gain. Personal account and real account ledgers are purely based on balance sheet ledger, whereas nominal account ledger purely based on P&L ledger. Here they gave some transactions for how to record. Actually, I am one thing I want to remind. Each and every type of transaction, without knowing the golden rule, you can pass any transaction. Each and every type of transaction, first you have to remember. First you have to identify the transaction. What kind of transaction it is. What kind of transaction it is. Whether it is a purchase or whether it is a sales, whether it is a purchase return or sales return. How a policeman identifying a thief, like that you have to identify. After identification, what I should do, sir? After identification, you have to know which account to be debited and which account to be credited. Here I gave one clue, which account to be debited. Assume that if you remember a one sentence, which sentence? Purchase account always debit. If you remember one sentence, you can pass four kind of transaction. Purchase account always debit. Purchase account always debit means what you will credit. If you receive cash, credit cash. If you have not received cash, then credit the person who supplied the material. Similarly, sales. Purchase account always debit. Which account to be credited? Sales account. So, sales account credit means debit what comes in. If you receive cash, cash account debit to sales. If you receive check, bank account debit to sales. If you didn't receive anything, the debtors account to be debited and the sales account to be credited. Purchase return again ulta to purchase, sales return again ulta to sales. In case of receipt, what you received, if you received cash, cash account to be debited, and the person who is the giver, that account to be credited. Suppose if a person is making payment by way of check, bank account to be debited. Sir, a person is depositing the money into my bank account, whether it is to be treated as a cash account or bank account. It should be treated as a bank receipt, not cash receipt. Cash means you have to receive the cash physically. You sold a computer to one person who is in Kumbakonam and he deposited the money in cash into your account at ATM. That transaction to be treated as a bank receipt. That transaction you have to treat as bank receipt, not cash. JV. What is called JV? It is a cashless transaction. In JV, cash will not come. If cash came, it is not JV. Very simple. Then trial balance. What is called a trial balance? Trial balance means it is a statement. It is not a financial statement. The statement of the difference between the statement and the financial statement is entirely different. The difference between statement and the financial statement is entirely different. Statement, it is mere statement only. You cannot get any financial information, any useful or fruitful information from trial balance. Just why we are preparing the trial balance? To check the arithmetic accuracy, whether both the debit and credit are getting tallied like that. We are debit and credit tally agada. That's all. After preparation of trial balance, once you confirmed our trial balance is getting tallied, then definitely your profit and loss account and balance sheet will get tallied. Sir, my profit and loss account, will it get tallied? No. Your profit and loss account will never get tallied. At the end of the financial year, after preparation of profit and loss account, you will get some profit or loss. That profit, if it is profit, it should be transferred to the capital account, balance sheet, liability side. If it is a loss, it should be transferred to the asset side account. Only balance sheet will get tallied. In general, ledgers are classified into two broad categories. One is called P&L ledger, another one is called balance sheet ledger. You have to keep mind one thing. In your books of accounts, if a ledger shows debit balance, it must be an asset or expenses. Asset or expenses depends the nature of the ledger. If the nature of the ledger is a balance sheet ledger, it is an asset. If the nature of the ledger is a P&L, it is an expenses. Vice versa, you have to tell. In your books of accounts, if a ledger shows credit balance, it must be an income or liability. Income or liability depends the nature of the ledger. If the nature of the ledger is a balance sheet ledger, it is an liability. If the nature of the ledger is a P&L, it is an income. Like that, you have to tell. So, they gave some information. Based on the information, they are asked to prepare the trial balance. After preparing the trial balance, you have to prepare the profit and loss account. Profit and loss account, there are two parts again. First part is called trading profit, then operating profit. From trade profit, you will know the gross profit, and in profit and loss account, you will know the net profit or net loss from your operations. Finally, that profit to be transferred to the balance sheet. In balance sheet, what are the sources of income and how you spend that income? Balance sheet is a financial statement explaining the financial position of a company at a particular date. What are the sources of income? By way of capital, how much I received? By way of long-term loan, how much I received? By way of current liability, how much I received? Where does the money gone? In fixed asset, how much I invested? In what are the amounts lie in the current assets? Okay, that is called balance sheet. Except day book, all books are considered as subsidiary books only. In general, books are classified into two broad categories. One is called main books and another one is called subsidiary books. Only the day book is the main books. All other books are subsidiary books only. Day book means it is a books of records, recording the transaction in a chronological order. Recording the transaction in a chronological order. You cannot tally the debit and credit. You should not tally. First, you have to record the chronological order. After that, you have to post into the ledgers in subsidiary books. You have to close the subsidiary books. After closing the subsidiary books, you can prepare the trial balance. From trial balance, you will prepare the profit and loss account and balance. Cash book, there are three columnar cash book are there. Then depreciation, there are lot of method of depreciation. When depreciation will come, usage and passage of time. There are several method of depreciation: straight line depreciation, diminishing balance, annuity, sum of year digit method, unit production method, group depreciation, and composite depreciation. Like that, there are lot of depreciation method. Here one question will come: which method of depreciation is not in practice? Like that, my question will come. Here they explained each and every depreciation. You have to read and get clarify. Suppose if you couldn't clarify, then call me. Then depreciation schedule. Why we are preparing the depreciation schedule? For what purpose we are preparing the depreciation schedule? Like that, here in depreciation schedule in Excel column you have to prepare. First it should description means name of the asset, cost, lifetime, method, everything it should come. Then computerized accounting. Why computerized accounting? To need accuracy. So that part over. Then conclusion. What we come, what we know from this? Accounting is the practice of maintaining precise record of the financial dealing of a business. Accounting is a process of identifying, systematic recording, summarizing, analysis, and interpretation of financial report of a business. Every transaction involves two aspects, that is one give and take. You have to take the key aspects. Then you have to try to answer for the question, practical exercise. A dash is a business activity that involves the transfer of money or money's worth. That is called transaction. The earnings of business through its activities and operations are called revenue. The accounting process begins with identifying, recording the transaction in the books of accounts. Yes, true. Accounts relating to individually a group of individual firms and institutions. The statement is used for which one of the following types of accounts? Accounts relating to individually a group of individual. Personal accounts. Debit all the expenditure and loss, credit all the income and gain is the golden rule for which of the following? Debit all expenditure, nominal accounts. The act of recording a transaction in the journal is called journalizing. Which one of the following financial statement helps the verifying the arithmetical accuracy of posting to the ledger? Trial balance. D. Liability means the amount due from a business to others. True. Profit and loss account is divided into two parts, namely trading profit and loss account and profit and loss account. Yes, true. Mega India Private Limited has a sales revenue of 1,50,000, sales discount to 12,000, sales return at allowances 24,000, and the cost of the goods is 60,000. What would be the net sale revenue? What are the information we are having? First, we are having the sales revenue and sales discount. You have to reduce the sales discount from sales revenue. And the sales return, that amount also to be reduced. So 24 plus 12 is equal to 36,000. You have to reduce the 36,000 from 1,50,000, that is 1,40,000. Cost of goods sold is irrelevant to find out the sales revenue. Okay, ma? You have to deduct only the um, sale price. From the sale price, you have to deduct only expenditure on sale. And if sales return, if any, you should not reduce the cost of the goods sold. Cost of a fixed asset minus accumulated depreciation of the expenditure is the book value of the fixed asset. Which of the following fixed asset is appreciated in the ordinary course of business? Ordinary course of business, land will, only the land will get the increase. Other fixed assets will, the value will get decrease. Which of the following accounts will be credited? If a company purchases a building for cash, cash account to be credited, building account to be debited. Depreciation refers to a portion of a fixed asset cost consumed during the current accounting period. True. Which of the following is the first phase of accounting? Preparing journal, posting entries, making decision and business, identifying an economic event or transaction. The fourth one, identifying an economic event or transaction. What kind of transaction it is? First we have to identify it. As per the accounting concept, the asset should have debit balance and the liability should have the credit balance. Yes, true only. I already told which account to be debited and which account, sorry. In your books of accounts, if a ledger shows debit balance, it must be an income or expenses. Sorry, in your books of accounts, if a ledger shows debit balance, it must be an asset or expenses. Asset or expenses depends on the nature of the ledger. If the nature of the ledger is a balance sheet ledger, it is an asset. If the nature of the ledger is a P&L, it is an income, like that I told. So first part is over, and second part, introduction to tally. In introduction to tally, what you come to know? Introduction to tally, features of tally prime, downloading and installing tally prime, types of licenses, managing licenses in tally prime, working tally prime in education mode, getting started with the tally, company creation and setting up company futures in tally prime, navigate from anywhere to anywhere, top menu right button, go to switch to keyboard shortcuts and alt F12, alter a company and shut a company. Introduction to, in general, there are lot of softwares. Now you can classify the softwares for accounting in general based on two category criteria. One is called cloud based accounting. Another is called non-cloud based accounting. In cloud based accounting, there are some software companies are there. So in non-cloud based accounting, but the tally also now come into cloud based account. Major shareholder is tally. Out of 100 businessmen, 70% of the businessmen are using tally. Other than tally, பிசின்னு ஒன்று சாஃப்ட்வேர் இருக்குது, நம்பணிகம், ட்ரேடு, ரேன்பாக்ஸி, இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய சாஃப்ட்வேர்ஸ் இருக்குது, பிரிட்ஸ், இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய சாஃப்ட்வேர்ஸ் இருக்குது. பட் தேர் ஆல் அதர் கான்ட்ரிபியூஷன் நாட் ஒன்லி 30%. 70% of the people in India, they are using tally only. Not only in India, nearly 14 countries tallies are using. Tally is a very user-friendly software. The person who don't know accounts also can easily operate the tally software. That is the main difference. Futures of tally prime. What is the future of tally prime? It's in easy navigation, easy learning. Anyone can access. You can get the job. It works very accurately and fastly. It will generate good reports, very useful reports. There are some advantages also. Blazing speed, simplicity, power of accessing, flexibility, scalability, real-time processing. Real-time processing means once you pass the transaction, immediately it will update the trial balance, immediately it will update all the reports, balance sheet, profit and loss account, ratio analysis, income and expenditure, receipts and payment, whatever the report you want, you can get immediately. GST or 13B, like that you can get any report. It's processing on real time, it's working. Amazing speed, intelligent setup manager, concurrent multi-language capacity. Sir, I don't know English, I know only Tamil and Hindi. My boss wants to maintain their accounts in Hindi, whereas I don't know English. What can I do, sir? Can I maintain the tally in Hindi version? Yes, you can maintain. But if you buy any other software like Busy, if you buy Ranbaxy, Nambadigam Trade, you cannot maintain it in Hindi. Sir, I am having one doubt in tally. Whether tally will get clarified the doubt? Yes, absolutely. Morning from 8 o'clock till night 8 o'clock, up to morning 8 to 8, evening 8, not 24 hours. This 12 hours tally will work. The only thing you need is one tally serial number, that's all. Wherever you go, your network followங்கிற மாதிரி நீ எங்கே போனாலும் சரி டேலியில் போய்ட்டு அதனுடைய சீரியல் நம்பர் காப்பி பண்ணிக்கோ. Just call the number, tally customer care. Ask any doubts. Unless you say, they will not stop. அதான் ஒரு பிரச்சனை. டேலிக்காரன்ட்ட போய்ட்டு சார் எனக்கு இது தெரியலன்னு கேட்டான்னு வச்சுக்கோ, சீனிவாசன் மாதிரி பட்டுன்னு சொல்லி விட்டுற மாட்டான். அன்றைக்கி காலம்புற 6 மணிலேருந்து ஆரம்பத்துலேருந்து வருவான். உனக்கு ஐயா புரிஞ்சிடுச்சு அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் தான் உன்னை விடுவான், அது வரைக்கும் விட மாட்டான். Downloading and installing tally prime, already you know well. Tally solutions download அங்கே போயிட்டு you have to download and install. Now Tally is available in two versions. One is called Tally Prime and another one is called Tally Prime Edit Log. As per the MCA rule, Minister of Company Affairs rule, you have to download and install the Tally Prime Edit Log version only you have to use. Edit Log மாத்திரம் தான் நீங்கள் யூஸ் பண்ணணும். Sir, Edit Log version now 6.0 is available, but I don't have that. I don't have TSS, valid TSS. What can you do? You don't worry. You can see there. Suppose assume that இப்போ வந்து பார்த்தீங்கன்னா TSS validity எது வரைக்கும் இருக்குது. நான் என்னுடைய டேலியை ஓப்பன் பண்ணி காட்டுறேன். என்னுடைய டேலியை ஓப்பன் பண்ணுறேன். நான் ஒரிஜினல் டேலி வச்சுருக்கேன். ஒரிஜினல் டேலி மீன்ஸ் ஐ பர்ச்சேஸ்ட் ஒன்ஸ் அப்பான் எ டைம். I purchased it for rupees 18,000 plus GST. Now its cost is 21,000 plus GST. No, I purchased at the time of purchasing its cost is 13,000. Sorry, 18,000. 13,000. You know the version. If M1 about B. Version is Tally 4.0. Here Tally software service expired on which date it is getting expired, it will show. So suppose if I want to download and install Tally, I have to go for Tally solutions download.com. Here I can அந்த டேட்டில் எந்த வெர்ஷன் இருக்கும் 36னா எந்த வெர்ஷன் வரைக்கும் I can table. Here suppose if you are using education version, either you can download from Tally Prime or Edit Log, but you are having previous version, you need to previous version. Here one small word, do you want to download previous version or support file? Here you have to click here whether you want to download Tally Prime or Tally Edit Prime Log, Tally Prime Server, Tally Prime Developer, Shopper 9 or any other previous version. Any other previous version means you can download up to Tally ERP9. The TSS is expired on 36/2024. So which is my eligible? Here I have to scroll 36/24. Up to 4.1 I can download and install. Suppose I need Tally ERP9, I can download. ERP9 also available. ERP9 also available in Tally. 1 minute. Okay, ba? Now we may go for introduction, download and installing Tally. How to download and install, the minimum requirement also given there. என்னென்னு சொல்லி வச்சு அதை பார்க்கணும். License, there are two kind of license. One is called single user, another one is called multi-user. Single user only one person can use. Multi-user any number of person can use. Any number of person means you cannot use more than 10 people. அப்புறம் டேலி தொங்கிடும். 50 பேர் 100 பேர் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படிலாம் நினைக்காதீங்க. Suppose if you need to use more than 50 people, you have to buy Tally server only. Okay va? Single user 21,000 plus GST, multi-user 63,000 plus GST, its rate. Suggested 10 numbers. Sir, I don't have money, what I should do? You can download and install education version. Once you install the education version, each and every month on 1st and 2nd will work. In which month having 31st day, that month also will work. But in case of February, it won't work. In case of April, 30 days only, it won't work. Now Tally also available in rental. Suppose if you installed in education mode, it will ask 4 questions. which mode I have to run. Whenever open, unless you purchase the tally, each and every time it will ask you. Okay, va? You can run your tally in education mode itself, no issues. Then company futures. In F11, there are some futures also there. You have to go and check what are the futures available in F11. Actually, you have to open one company. Then only you come to know what is called the futures. If you press F11, previously in Tally ERP9, there are three kind of future: accounting, inventory, and statutory future. Nowadays, everything brought into one future. Future means each and every company it's have separate future. Each and every company separate future. But previously in Tally ERP9, there are three kind of futures. One is called in general futures are classified into three broad category. One is called the accounting future. Accounting future means um, invoice future will won't work. You can enable the bill wise detail, cost center detail, like that features you can get. Inventory future, suppose if your company is a trading company and trading and manufacturing company, you can use the inventory future. Statutory future. Statutory future means you can use if your company comes under GST, you can use GST. Suppose if your company covers under TDS, you can use TDS. Like that GST, TDS, VAT, whatever the statutory you need to maintain, you can maintain. Payroll is one of the future available in Tally. So, if whatever the future you want, you can enable in Tally. Futures of Tally. Then company data birth. Here you have to go for Alt Y data birth. In Alt Y there are backup, restore, split, repair, migrate, data birth. First you have to start from data birth. What is called a data birth? Suppose if I am asking you to keep one thing, I asked to keep this book with you. Where you will keep? எங்கே வைப்பீங்க இந்த புக்கை ஒன்று போய் வைக்கிறேன் எங்கே வைப்பேன் டேபிளில் வைப்போம் இல்லை ஷெல்ஃபில் வைப்போம் like that you have to specify the data where you have to keep. Unless you have not specified, automatically it will keep where the software has been installed. Suppose if you install the software in D drive, in that folder data will be captured there. So Alt Y அதில் என்னென்ன இருக்குது அதை பார்த்துக்கோ. The top மெனுவில் என்னென்ன இருக்குது டேட்டா பாத் அப்படிங்கிறது அதான். பேக்கப் எடுக்கலாம், ரீஸ்டோர் பண்ணலாம், ஒரு டேட்டாவை ஸ்பிட் பண்ணுறது. At the end of the financial year, yesterday முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. நீங்கள் you can split the data, repair and migrate. Actually, those who are all having the Tally previous version of 5.0, now you can download and install the 6.0 and try to open the previous version into the new version. That is called migration. Migration means old version to new version. Degrade from old version to new version means repair. You need to repair the data. But please remember, Tally 3.0 you cannot open in Tally 2.0. But Tally 2.0 can be opened in the 3.0. Tally 3.0, once the Tally data converted as 3.0 data, you cannot open in 2.0. It can open only 3.0. Then you have to see what are the shortcut keys in the top menu. Tomorrow we may discuss it. You please try to finish the mock test 1 and 2. First mark set, today itself you have to finish. I hope you will finish it. Thank you very much for your kind patience. உங்களுடைய அன்புக்கு நன்றி. தேங்க்யூ. உங்களுக்கு இதை பிடிச்சிருந்ததுன்னா இந்த சேனலை சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணி நம்ம சேனலை சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுங்கள். இன்னொரு 300 to 400 ஹவர்ஸ் தான் இருக்குது. நம்ம வந்து 3000 வாட்ச் ஹவர்ஸை கேட்ச் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஹெல்ப் பண்ணுங்கள். தேங்க்யூ. பாய்.